Hi, sir. Uh, so today I will explain my solution of SIT 232 Practice 3, Task 3.1, C-sharp essentials, errors, and list. This task is about using the arrow, list loops, and static method in C-sharp. So in my program .cs, I complete all 10 questions in one field. So the program including the one-dimensional arrows, a two-dimensional arrow, and a list, and three static methods called palindrome, merge, and arrow conversions. So first, I will explain the question one. So in this part, I create a double arrow with 10 elements. So then I assign in each violin one by one from 1.0 to 1.9. So after this one, I print every element to the console. So this part will show the how arrow can store multiple value and of the same data type. So and how each element is assigned to by index. So for question two, I create an integer arrow with a 10 element. So for this time, instead of assign the values one by one, so I use the for loop. The loop starts from index 0 and continues until the end of the arrow. So I store the value of I into each element. So the arrow continues 0 to 9. Then I use another for loop to print the arrow. So this parts show that loops are much more efficient than repeated code. So next question three. So I created the integer arrow called the student arrow with 10 marks. So then uh, and then I use the variable called total to add the all values in the arrow. After this one, I calculate the average by dividing to the total by length of the arrow. So I use the double total. So uh, this one part, this part shows the how arrows can be used in calculation like the total and the average. Mm, next question. So next question four, I create a string arrow called the student name with the length 6. So then I use a loop and the console read line to ask the user to enter six student name. So each name is stored in the next position in the arrow. After this one, I use the other loop to print all integer name. So this question shows how arrow can store user's input. For question five, uh, I create a double arrow called the violin with a length 10. So I also create the uh, cardinal uh, size cardinal largest, cardinal smallest. So I use the while loop to read the 10 violence from this user. Then I set the both largest and smallest to the first element. So after this one, I use the for loop to go through the arrow, print the each violin and compare it to find largest and smallest numbers. This part shows how to process the arrow data after input. Next question for question six. I create a two-dimensional inter arrow with three rows and four columns. Then I use the list for loops to print each element. The outer loop goes through the rows and inner loop goes through the columns. So I use the uh, get length 0 and get length 1 for columns. This part show how to a 2D arrow works like the table. So for question 6, I use the uh, oh here list string my list equal to new a list string inside of the an arrow. So I also create a random object and generated a random number between 1 and 12. So then I use the loop to add the student name like student 1, student 2, and so on in the list. So finally, I print the number of the student by using content and print it all list elements. So this part shows the difference between the arrow and the list. So an arrow has a fixed size, but the lists are more flexible and can group. So now I will explain in three stick methods. So for question 8, I created Question 8, I created a static bool palindrome inter arrow. So this method can check whether an integer arrow is a palindrome. So a palindrome means the arrow looks the same from left to right and from right to left. So first I check if the length is less than 1. So if it is, so the method returns fails. Then I use a loop to compare the first element with the last element. So the second with the second last, and so on. So if any pair is different, the method returns fails. If the pairs is matched, the match method returns true. In mean, I test uh, with the three arrows, two palindrome and one is not. For question 9, I use the static here. Wait, no, static list inter merger list inter list A list inter list B. This method merge two stores integer list into one store list. First, I check the whether list A is stored in instant order. So then I do the same for list B. If either list not stored, the method return no. So if the both are stored, I create a new result list. Then I use the two index one uh, uh, one for each list and compare the volume step by step. I add the small volume into the result list until the one list finished. So after this one, I added the remain violence from the others list. So this is a standard merger process. So in me, I test uh, I test it with a two-store list. For question 10, I created static inter array conversion inter array. So this method converted a 2D integer array into a 1D array by extracting only the old valence. So this task says I must check the array columns to by column, and inside column I check the row by row. So in my code, the outer loop goes through the columns and the inner loop goes through rows. So if the violin is old, I add the uh, add to list. If at the end I convert the list into an arrow by using two arrow. So in main, I test this method with a simple 2D arrow, and I will show the code running here. CD and donate run. Oh, cool. Question 1, correct two correct elements. Yeah. I'll be right. 3, total SE2 number elements 10, average point. Yeah, correct. Question 4, each name. So I use my name to as first name. Student. Alice, Jim, Peter, John. Walter. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Printed. Question 5, interval. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, cool. Let me say question 5. Yeah, error contains correct large violent 10, small violent 1. Question 6, correct. Question 7. Pseudonym of number of the student, 9, yeah, 1 to 9. It's a pattern draw true, true, fails, yeah. Question 9, yeah, so merge list, yeah, I'll be right, yeah. Question 10, convert error, 71133973995 151, yeah, I'll be correct. So from this task, I learning the difference between the arrow and the list. An arrow has a fixed size, so it is useful when the number of the elements is known. So a list is more flexible, so it is useful when the number of elements may change. So I also learn how to use the loop and process data and how to create a static method to solve the specification problems. So this task me help me to practice test the input, output, conditional loops, and collections the process in shop. So here my video is over. So thank you for watching. Have a good day, sir. Stop the recording.